Hey guys, to start off today's third grade lesson 2 is we're going to begin with writing the number in standard form. So, definition of standard form is the number. So, what I mean by that is, as you can see for number 1, this addition is called the expanded form, and something like number 3 is called the word form. And basically, we're going to be combining those numbers together and creating one whole number. So let's start off with number 1. So we see that there's the expanded form of 100 plus 50 plus 3. So we see that there's 100, 10, and 3, and the ones. And if you think about it, when you combine these together, they kind of place each other. What I mean by is you can see that this 50 can easily be placed right here, and 3 can be easily placed in the ones value. So how would you write that? Well, you would start off with the hundreds, the tens, and the ones, and you would get the standard form of 153. Let's try one more, number 2. So once again, you have the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. So if you want to draw the little arrows, you absolutely can. And once again, you're just combining it. So we're going to start with the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. And now you have the standard form of 639. On the other hand, for word form, it's a little more complicated because it's not just numbers. There's no addition. So how are we supposed to know what is what, where is where? Well, it's very simple. You can simply just write it out. So it easily says right here, 4 hundreds, 2 tens, which is 20, and 1. And you can just think about them adding once again. And you can draw the arrows, and you would get hundreds, 10, 1, and you would get the standard form of a 421. But something a little harder, like number 12. So we see that, yes, there is 900, so let's just write that out. However, there's 71. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you know what 71 is, but it doesn't say something like 7 tens or 1. But you don't need to because we already know what 71 easily is. It's just 7-1. And this can easily replace these two zeros with the 10 and the 1. And so you go 100, 10, ones, and then you would get the standard form of 971. So next up, write the net value of the bolded number. So I'm pretty sure all of you know what places these bolded numbers are, but what does it mean to write the value? You just simply write the number of what it's in its place, in the place. So what I mean by that is we see that this bolded number is under the tens. But what is this bolded number where it's the sevens? So you can simply write the 7 tens, because 7 is in the tens. And what do you get? You get 70. That is the value of the bolded number. Now, for something like number 2, we don't need to write it down like this, 7 tens. You can easily just know, oh, this is in the thousands. There's a 2 in the thousands, so what would you get? Well, it's simply 2,000. And that is your value. Moving on, we're now finding the sum of 3 different numbers. So for addition, just a quick for your information, you can add any of these numbers in any order as long as you don't repeat. So what I mean by this is you can easily add 6 plus 3, 5 plus 3, or you can easily do 6 plus 5. But once you do that, let's say you did 5 plus 3. And then you get 8. You cannot just repeat now I'm going to do 6 plus 3. You cannot repeat it because you have already used this 3. So let's just continue with this. Okay, so we got 5 plus 3 as 8. So we're going to now bring this down, 6 plus plus 6 plus 8 to finish it off. So now what do you get? 6 plus 8 is 14. But something a little harder, like number 13, for example. So we see that there's a 2-digit number, but it's very small, very simple. So for this one, let's go small again. 3 plus 3. What is it? 6. And now we're going to bring down the big number, 12 plus. And what is 12 plus 6? It is 18. Lastly, we're going to be doing word problems. So I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing this. One much easier, one that's a little more advanced, or many of you may already know it, but nevertheless, let's get on with it. So number 1, Anna has 48 inches of strings to make friendship bracelets for her friends. If she uses 6 inches of string for each friendship bracelet, how many friends will she give the bracelets to? So let's underline the important information. So 48 inches of string, 6 inches for one bracelet. And the question is, how many friends will she be able to make the bracelets for? So one way you could obviously do it is just draw 48 strings and divide it into 6. However, something a little more simpler is just simply continuing to add 6 until you get 48, which I guess you could say you're going to go backwards by creating a multiplication equation and expand a multiplication equation. So let's get on it. So let's just continue to add 6 plus 6. So 6 plus 6, that's 12. Not quite 48 yet. Plus 6, you get 18. Not 6. Plus 6, 24. Plus 6, 30. Plus 6. Oops, we can go down here. Plus equals to 36. Plus 6, 42. Plus 6, 48. So we arrived at 48. So now let's just count how many 6s we used. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we counted that there were 6 inches, or 6 inches. So how many friends is she able to make it for? 8 friends. That is your answer. Now something a little more advanced, or where you would need to know your division, is Casey has 24 stuffed animals in her room. She needs to put an equal number of them on 4 shelves. How many stuffed animals are on each shelf? So let's underline the important factors first. So 24 stuffed animals, 4 shelves she needs to organize them into. So now the question is, how many stuffed animals are there in each shelf? So we're trying to see how many animals we can put in one shelf for 4. So how would you do that? You would just simply divide the 24 stuffed animal by the 4 shelves. So what is 24 divided by 4? I'm going to just tell you, it's 6. And if you want to check, if we do 6 times 4, it is 24. And so your official answer is 6 animals on a shelf. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope this makes sense.